Moderna just out with its second quarter results. The company reported a slightly narrower than expected loss of $3.33 a share. That's a revenue beat compared to the estimate. But Moderna did cut its sales forecast for COVID-19 vaccines. The stock, we should mention, down sharply right now, off close to 13% this morning. And join us right now to explain what is going on here. Moderna CEO Stephane Bancel. Stephane, we appreciate you being here, especially on a morning when I think there's probably a lot of questions from investors about what we should expect. I think a lot of what we're seeing in the stock is the guidance. Can you explain it?
Yeah, hello, Andrew. So we had a good quarter, very happy with the performance. We also continue to reduce the cost structure, as we've said last year. We are $600 million lower in OPEX this quarter versus Q2 of last year. Yes, we updated the guidance because things have been moving recently. One piece is around Europe. We have been communicating to investors that we've been working hard in Europe to try to overcome the fact that Pfizer has an exclusive contract with Europe that has been set up during the pandemic. We have been working with the European Union to try to get access to another option, to get access to a vaccine that has actually better reduction of hospitalization in the real-world data. But what we got recently as feedback from top governments in the largest European country is that they really have a lot of budget constraints and that they will not be purchasing Moderna for the 24-25 season, starting in a few weeks. And so that is, of course, a disappointment. And then in the US, both on RSV and COVID, there's a lot of competitive pressure going on right now. As you can imagine, the RSV market is already established. Last year we gained a lot of shares, in COVID. And so there's been some reaction there. And then there's a little bit of a guidance. That's also a couple of governments around the world asking us to delay from late 24 to early 25 shipments. It will have no cash impact on the company because those are governments that have always been very reliable. But it's going to have an impact in terms of gap revenue for this year. So that's the three drivers.
Stephane, maybe this is like asking a barber whether you're supposed to get a haircut, but we've obviously seen a real switch in terms of the way people are thinking about the COVID vaccine and the uptake in the future. What is your sense of this? Meaning, realistically, whether people should be taking it, when they should be taking it? As I said, I think Warren Buffett had a great line once where he said, "You never ask a barber whether you need a haircut." But what do you think, knowing the science that you know?
Sure. I think there's a few different categories. I think if you are, let's say, over 60 years of age, if you look at the data, the season just finished, so 23-24, sorry. There were more hospitalization of COVID than flu in the US. That's a fact reported by CDC, by actually a long shot. So if you're 60 plus, you definitely want to get your vaccine, like you should get your flu shot as well. And we do not sell flu shots at this time. We have a great one in the clinic, but we don't have one on the market. Those are things people should do. The virus changes every year. It's like flu. The virus evolves, so you need a new evolved tool to be able to help you fight the virus. People that have comorbidity is also very important. And then for adult of middle age, the reason I take a COVID shot every fall season is not because I'm scared of being hospitalized. I have no known comorbidity factor. I'm 52-year-old, so I don't qualify for that from a risk factor standpoint. But I worry about long COVID. There has been millions, literally, of people in the US who have gotten long COVID, sometimes for months of a very traumatic change in your health and what you can do. Some people reporting being able to not even walk anymore when they used to be running 5 or 10 Ks before. So those are the reasons why I think people at risk or people who want to make sure that they don't become sick have a very easy tool. You can walk in any pharmacy in the US, get the shot. It is free with no copay. So flu and COVID should be things that people do regularly.
Right. Stephane, let me ask you about this. This is the RSV vaccine and the sales slump. Between Moderna, GSK, and Pfizer, there's some reports saying that there could be an almost threefold drop in demand, by some reports from $4.7 billion a year by 2030 to just $1.7 billion. And that's in large part because of the CDC's decision last month to recommend the shots be used by adults 75 plus. Do you think that was a wrong decision?
I think the public health leaders made the decision they thought was the right decision at this time. What we believe is that over time, as more data is available, people will be getting boosters for RSV. We do not believe that a single RSV booster is going to be adequate for the long term for people that are 60 plus. At this stage, it's still early in the use of vaccine. As you know, it's only 1 year that those vaccines are being available. We still need to get more data. But what we believe as a company, what I believe personally, is that over time, we're going to be in need for additional boosters.